Okay, so today is the first day of Chinese social media marketing. So raise of hands, who is on Chinese social media right now? That could be WeChat or XiaoHongShu as a place to find students. Okay, Sandy is, Angie is. Okay, awesome. Vashti is, lovely. So I will start by saying Chinese social media isn't necessarily the easiest platform to use and navigate and figure out, because China is basically quite strict. Let me put it that way. There's a lot of laws and rules in place, and unless you understand them, you can get restricted easily. You can get kicked out of WeChat, kicked out of XiaoHongShu, and those things, all of those things have happened to me. So really, it is a great place to find students if you are willing to persevere. So really in this week, I'm going to be sharing with you, as well as Katie, we're going to be sharing how to use WeChat, how to use XiaoHongShu. Katie's going to be meeting with you on Wednesday, how to optimize your profiles in both of those places. I'm going to be sharing with you just the power of XiaoHongShu today. I'm hoping that my guest speaker is going to join us. Otherwise, I'm just going to show you around XiaoHongShu and kind of inspire you with different things that you can use XiaoHongShu for. I will say that getting verified on WeChat can be difficult. I know that some of you have struggled with that. So persevere. I have put a flyer up in the WeChat, in the Facebook VIP group, just explaining the different ways that you can get verified. I personally can't verify you, because in order to verify someone on WeChat, you have to have been on WeChat for 6 months, and you can only verify one person a month. So unfortunately, that means I can't verify everyone. So yeah, I would say I've put that flyer up. I think I'll share it with you now, but it's really important that you try and get verified this week, so that when we do like profile optimization and things like that, then you can actually do all of those things. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll be sharing with you today. I'm not sure if my guest speaker is going to arrive. Hopefully she does. If she does, then I'll get her to share. But I will share with you my experience of Chinese social media, kind of showcase the power of finding students on that, and then we'll end with a question and answer time. Allison's asked, can you verify more people if you live in China? No, it's still a flat rule for everyone, even if you've got the Chinese, a Chinese phone number. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm going to share my screen with you. I'm not sure my guest speaker is coming today. I messaged her yesterday, and then I heard from her this morning, and I haven't heard from her since. So hopefully she comes, and if not, you're going to be stuck with me. Okay, so let me just share with you what I've done. So in the Facebook VIP group, here it is. I've put two things. This is a WeChat verification and group swap. So comment below to find people to help, either verify you or to swap groups with you. Now I just want to show you this flyer here. So these are the different ways you can get verified. In order to get verified, you have to have your phone with you with your QR code. The other person has to have the phone with them with WeChat open, and you have to do it within about 1 or 2 minutes. So it's ideal if you can do it in person, or if you can do it through a video call or on chat. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to show your QR code to an online student. So when you go to WeChat, you go to the Play Store, you can download it, and then you get the QR code. Once you've got that QR code, you have to show it to someone. So if you're doing it in person, you show it to them, and then they get their WeChat open. So they'll go to WeChat, they'll go to Discover, they'll go to Scan, and they scan your QR code. Okay. That means that they can verify you, that you're a verified friend, and it allows you to start WeChat. Now, if they are not in person, what you can do is you hold your QR code up to the screen, and then they can scan it with their phone, okay, as a picture on your screen, and then they can verify you that way. It's got to be within like a minute. So if you message your QR code to someone and they don't reply within a minute, you've got to do the whole process all over again. It's very frustrating. So my best advice is to go and find a local Chinese restaurant or shop in your area, because everyone who is Chinese has WeChat. So you can just ask them, you can say, please, can you help me with WeChat? Show them your QR code. explain to them that they can scan it with their WeChat and get you set up. The other thing is ask maybe in your social media, like Facebook, you can just say, hi, has anyone done business in China? Has anyone got a WeChat account that they can verify me with? So my sister-in-law, who does like fashion design, goes to China every like twice a year. She verified me because she's a fashion designer. She does work in China, right? So totally random. The other thing is there is a website called Fiverr. So it's Fiverr with 2 R's, and you can get people to help you verify on there. It will cost you about $5. Another thing is you can ask around in Facebook groups, like our Facebook group, see if anyone has been verified for longer than 6 months who can help you. Ask friends who are connected with China. You can join like a platform like Preply to find a Chinese student. If you have Chinese students already, like I said, they can be the ones in your video chat. And you basically, if they're a child, you can just say, can I talk to your mum and dad? Is your mum there? Is your dad there? You know, if they don't speak English, what you could do is you could write it in English and translate it with Google Translate and pop it in the chat. Just say, please help verify me. You need to go to Discover in WeChat to scan my QR code. Okay, so these are all different ways that you can help someone to get verified on WeChat. Has anyone got any questions about getting verified? Okay, I have got someone, well done, Cece. She followed my advice, walked into a Chinese buffet shop, and they were kind enough to verify me. Honestly, I feel like that's the easiest way that people get verified. I mean, there's usually a Chinese shop in your area. So I know someone has done this sitting next to someone on a train. So really, you can get it done in any way at all. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share with you a little bit about how I have used Chinese social media. So one of the ways that I have found students in Chinese social media is through WeChat. Now in WeChat, you can find groups that you can advertise your services in. So I'm going to share with you my story. When I got laid off from Wales English, I was able to get all of the WeChat details from my current students. And that's how I started teaching privately, is I literally WeChat messaged all of my private students. I got their contacts and I started to organize lessons with them. So Faye, who's Krista's mum, she was one of my Wales English students. I've had her for 4 years. Okay. So this is one of the students I've had. Ellie and Fanta, also from Wales English, but I messaged them later on. They found me later on. But I'm just sharing with you how you can find students, right? So there are these groups that have formed. And some of these are public groups. So someone, a teacher, a parent, someone from somewhere started one of these groups. And with these groups, they have invited anyone like teachers or parents to be able to join the group so that they can find each other, swap each other's details, find each other as a student and a parent, and a teacher. So for instance, one of these groups, let me just share with you, Dada teachers, for instance. Okay, so you can see the people in here. There's teachers in here. There's some parents in here. Here you can see, yeah, there's some Chinese parents, but there are also a lot of teachers. You can actually see the ratio here is quite heavily, it looks quite heavily, there's more teachers than Chinese people. You can usually see, because Chinese people are usually written in Chinese. Now, the problem with this and some of these groups is that there's so many teachers and they're posting and the parents have already found students, have already found teachers. So some of these groups are not very good. Some of them are brilliant. The best group that you could possibly have is your own group. So I started a few of my own groups. This one is Teachers for Adults and Kids. So I started this group, and most of the people initially are all Chinese people. So the Chinese people in this group, a lot of them were the people who I then would nurture, and I could then find, students for my business. what I did when I started my first company was called Ocean English, now it's I Teach, is I would invite the teachers to join this group so that they could also find students, right? So that's when I started to invite teachers, and now a whole lot of you guys are in here too. Okay, with story time, I had 3 different groups. So I start this group and I did 3 stories for students at 6 o'clock every day, and I went through the alphabet. So by the time I had 26 lessons going through the alphabet, I had 3 different groups with over 400, 500 people in them. And then after I did those 3 stories, I said, okay, well, I'm going to stop the free sessions now. But if you want to join me for paid lessons, then you can join me. And that's when I was able to also get groups of young students together, because they were all similar levels. They all knew me, and then I could say, well, do you want like GKA, which is grade kindergarten, or grade 1 or grade 2? And I found people and I could group them together from doing my own group, nurturing them, and so on. So I would say the best thing to do currently in the kind of Chinese climate right now is to start your own group, and then to invite people into that group as a lead magnet, like offering a free class, or like nurturing them. So if you're like an IELTS teacher or a KET or a PET teacher, you can say, well, join this group. I'm going to nurture you. I'm going to give you free advice, free different, materials, things like that. Okay. So that's the story with WeChat groups. Now, I would say your own group is the best group, or what you can do is if you share groups with someone else. So say Kerry, who is one of our coaches, she is a science teacher. So she is quite kind enough to let me advertise for English lessons in her science group, because we don't clash. We're not competition, because she only teaches science, I only teach English. So that's one other way that you can join someone else's group. Okay, so you can join these groups. Now, Helen actually manages a school called Sparkfish. And I see her in my groups all the time, where she goes into these public groups and then she basically invites them to join her group. I'm going to see if I can just find a quick example for you. So Helen will go, here we go. Helen will go into my groups and say, join my group, like join my book club group. And most often she actually usually shares the QR code of that group. Here we go. This is Teacher Helen. So this is the QR code. It's not for her personal WeChat. It's for a group that she has on WeChat. So if you zoom in, it's a group class. It's a book club. So she posts these in the public groups, hoping that someone from those public groups will join her in her group. So here we go. There's another one here. All right. So I'm kind of showing you the funnel that people use. So basically, WeChat groups are one way to find people. Another way that you can find people is on XiaoHongShu. So you basically can advertise on XiaoHongShu and then you funnel them into your WeChat groups. I hope that's making sense. All right, so I'm going to just share with you XiaoHongShu and what some of the other teachers are doing and some of their success stories on there. And let's look at some profiles just so that it's relevant. So this is Goran. I did message him before our session today to ask him if it was okay for me to share. So Goran is posting in here. He's posting some short videos. Look, there's some of the flyers that we've been making on Fridays. He's posting in there. He's been posting little videos. That's quite fun. And then what happens is people will see them and then message him, and then he's going to funnel them into WeChat to organize lessons, to talk about pricing and things like that. Now, one thing that I've got to point out for you is XiaoHongShu does not like it for you to say, like, go to my WeChat. They don't like you sending people off of their platform. So what you do here is you use the same ID with your XiaoHongShu as you do with your WeChat, which is why it's so important that you don't change your ID until you meet with Katie and she goes through all of this with you. Because what you can do is you can basically post on these your WeChat ID so that they can find you in WeChat and talk to you there. So I'm going to share Yasmin with you. Yasmin is also doing very well on XiaoHongShu. She shared her introduction video here. Let me just take you to her profile. There we go. So she's got like some little videos. She's got some vocabulary. Quite a few videos of the stories she tells. She's got her introduction video, which is pinned at the top. And even just inspirational things, like look, there she's sharing a bit about like where she lives in England, things like that. And you can see people usually will look and comment. And when people comment, that's when you can try and contact them, add them as a friend, and then private message them. I want to show you James's. James Jones has also done some coaching with us. So you can see with James Jones, I just want to show you. His ID is the same. I'm trying to see one which shows us where his ID is. Sorry, it's not here. But when you post, the best thing to do is to show your ID on your post so that people can find you in WeChat as well. Or you can message them and you can say, my ID is the same. So whenever you get an ID, make sure it's the same as the one in WeChat. So James actually has posted quite a few things. The one that blew up for him was actually this one here. So he got a little viral post and it was like a transportation song about a car. And he got a lot of different comments saying, hi, I love your video. Can I have your video? A lot of people sharing and talking about that, which was quite fun. And then obviously when people message him, he's then having a conversation. Oh, are you learning English? Have you got a son or a daughter? Typically when it's transport, it sometimes usually is like young boys, right? So then he can start having conversations with people. Are you looking for an English teacher? Oh, how old is your son? Does he like cars? I like cars too. Trying to build up, rapport with them. He's also showcasing some of the curriculum he uses in here. There we go, quite a lot of curriculum stuff there. And I do this. I go and I see what other people are doing and I get inspiration, right? So another thing that James did, which you can do, and this is something I know I've had quite a few South African teachers do this, is they try and find work on Chinese social media. If you're like a South African teacher and you're looking to find work online in our Western social media, honestly, most places are offering South Africans between like $2, $5, sometimes $10 if you're lucky. But if you're looking directly on Chinese social media, you can sometimes find jobs that pay you more. So this is a post that I saw James actually replied to. And on here, it was, a foreign teacher is in need. I need 2 or 3 foreign teachers, 30 minutes a class, da, 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 da. And then what happens is if you're a teacher and you're open to work, it's a bit like LinkedIn, like you're open to work. You can actually say, hi, like I'm an English teacher, message me. This lady, I'm from Canada, I work with VIP kids, contact me. Okay, here's James. I'm a native English speaker. Please message me. And the thing is, anyone who sees this can see who comments. So if you are looking for jobs, and you don't have to, like for me, I'm an independent teacher. So if you are looking for jobs and that are high paying, often on Chinese social media, they pay more. So what you can do, this is Sadie, one of our teachers as well, is you can just post on here. You can say, and don't just, sorry, Sadie, maybe don't say I'm interested. Maybe say, hi, I'm a native English speaker from, wherever, especially if you're from the UK or America. Or you can say, I used to work with this company. I used to work with that company. I've got this much experience. I love teaching young kids. I love teaching adults. I help people with the IELTS exam, the KET exam, the PET exam, because then anyone who is looking for online foreign teachers, not just this person, anyone whose eye is attracted to this post is going to go into the comments and they're going to see you. So if there are places where it's inviting you to say, hi, you know, you need a teacher, then you can post in here and people can contact you. You can see there's quite a few people who have done this. And in fact, I would jump on this, right? Someone called Betty there. Another thing that you can do is you could even look for recruiters on here, or you can look for schools on here and you can message them. So I've seen a few schools on here. I actually just punched in the other day, English teacher recruiter. And then you can see there's some people who are looking for English teachers. So hiring foreign teachers in China. Okay, maybe not in China. Looking for an English tutor. There's a recruiter. I teach adults. So sometimes you can kind of browse and see. I have seen also English schools posting like about their tutors who are like English or whoever. Sometimes they just have pictures of their teachers and they're like, these are our teachers. I'll message them and I could say like, hey, like, are you looking for teachers? Hey, are you looking, you know, what is your cost? So that way I've been able to also help other people find some work there. All right, I'm going to go to questions. I can see Tatiana's got her hand raised. Yes, Tatiana.
Hi, just a second ago, you said maybe not in China. What did you mean by that?
Okay, sorry, I should have rephrased that. Some people are looking for a tutor who is living in China.
Oh, got it.
So
okay, thank you.
You're an online teacher. So if someone's saying like looking for a teacher in Shanghai for a pre-primary school, you know, that's obviously, you don't want to go to Shanghai to teach, right? That's what I meant. Thank you. Sorry, no, thanks for clarifying, asking for clarification. So honestly, I've done this. Now, one thing that I've done, and I've actually shared it in the course, I'm not sure why it wasn't showing on my profile earlier, is I have found a recruiter for my own services on XiaoHongShu. So it is in the course, in the master course, and I show you what I've done. I actually searched. So instead of me advertising for students, I actually shared and advertised for recruiters. And I was like, hey, I'm looking for a recruiter to help me find students. Because if you can find a partner inside of China to help you, and you can pay them like a commission on like the students that they find you, that's also quite an effective way of doing that. So I actually just want to share with you, it's in the master course. I haven't put it in the 4-week launch challenge because it's kind of a bit more of an advanced skill. But it is in the master course. Let me just find that with you. In the master course, I've got this here, finding students and marketing options, using recruiters for your group classes. So I just want to show you.
What percentage? What percentage do you normally give them?
It's up to you. I've got a video here where I'm showing you. It's, in fact, might be a picture. It is probably a picture, isn't it? No, sorry, I'm just trying to find it. The percentage that I've given mine in the past is I've done up to 10%. That's mine. And I try and get them to then get people to buy packages. So if, for instance, I've got a 10-week course, then, okay, this is not quite right. I was showing it for the maths. But if it's a 10-week course and they're paying $25 per lesson for that 10-week course, then the commission would be $25. If I do a 20-week course and it's $25, so then the commission would be $50. If it's a 30-week course, then I don't $7,575. Okay, so it's up to you though. So those were the commission rates that I had, and you might find recruiters online who actually who might negotiate with you, and that's totally fine. I'm so sorry that I can't find. So I posted this on XiaoHongShu, and I had people reaching out to me basically who wanted to kind of partner with me and so I've worked with quite a few recruiters. One's called Michael, one's called MC, one's called Rita. And then they help me with finding students, which is quite nice. And the thing is, if you see people who you're like, they're recruiters, okay, you can approach them and say, well, would you be interested in being a recruiter for my lessons and my courses? This is what I'm about. This is how much I could pay you. So it's quite nice to have someone who is Chinese to speak to the parents on your behalf. The parents pay you and you teach, and then you give the commission back. I've worked with a few recruiters who sometimes take payments and then they pay me. But the recruiters that I've had for my personal lessons, like you can do this with like a mum. Like if you've got a mum who's like telling everyone about you, you could like be like, hey, do you want to make this a bit more formal? And you can be a partner with me and be a recruiter. And I'll give you commission. Do I have a contract that you sent to recruiters? Mine is very informal, but I have written something down. So you can write something on a piece of paper and just say like, this is what we agreed to, this is how much I pay, this like, and just have it in black and white, your arrangement. So it's clear. But I mean, my contract, I'll be very honest, it's very informal. Most of the stuff I do on Chinese social media is very informal. And that was a shock to my system. When I first started, I thought I needed like a very specific platform. In fact, I looked into LearnCube. I invested in LearnCube to have like a professional platform. And I think parents actually prefer it to be a little bit more informal, because I think they are worried a little bit about, having lessons with an English speaker. So the more informal, the better. And in fact, I spoke to some people inside of China initially. Gareth is one of them. And he's like, this is how it works here. It's very informal. People use WeChat Pay because it's a wallet. They're very private with their money. So that's another reason like what WeChat Pay is quite a popular way to give and receive payment. It's very, very informal, and it was a shock to my system, but that's honestly the culture there and how it seems to work best. The same with like British students. With my British students, if you have a website, it shows that you're legitimate. And if you have like contracts in place with terms and conditions and all these things, they think, oh, okay, this person knows what they're doing. And in China, it can be very informal. All right, Tatiana's got another question. Yes, Tatiana.
I'm sorry, just quickly. Do the Chinese, from what my research, it looks like Alipay is used?
Alipay. Is that right? Alipay.
Yeah,
that's correct. So Alipay, again, in the master course, I have got it under invoicing. So if you want to use Alipay, you can. And in fact, I was really hoping that our guest speaker would come and share with us about Alipay, because she uses Alipay. So one of the things under invoicing in the master course is invoicing with an international banking agent or with a parent. And then you can use Alipay with this. So you can just follow the instructions, go to the App Store, download Alipay. You can use your local phone number to set this up. So just so that you're aware, you can have money go into your Alipay account. The issue is you can't get money out of your Alipay account and into your local bank accounts unless you've got a Chinese banking card, which none of us have. I don't have it. And that's when you need to use an international banking agent or a parent who you trust. And basically you send the money from your Alipay wallet to theirs. And then because they've got a Chinese banking card, they send it into your local bank account. So it is a bit risky because you have to trust them. But I've got here a lady, she's called Justice. If you're in South Africa, she only does this with South Africans. She does this for about 400 independent teachers, where you have money in your A and you send it to your South African Capitec account or whatever, especially if you're in South Africa. Now, the other thing that's really cool with Alipay, and I'm going to talk about this very briefly, I'm not 100% an expert in this. This is why I wanted someone like Precious to come today. It doesn't look like she's coming, but anyway, she uses Alipay to be able to also use booster posts in XiaoHongShu. So if you wanted to get into paid boosting, So it's paid advertising on XiaoHongShu that can help you to attract more students. But what you need to do is be able to use an Alipay account to do that. So you can swap currencies with people, and I've mentioned that here. You can swap currencies either with other teachers. You could swap currencies with maybe a mum in China. Yeah, so if you're looking at Alipay, if you're looking to use that for different reasons, I would say go to this one here. I should actually just mention here, Alipay. That Alipay is in this session here, if that's something you're looking into. It's quite an advanced thing. So if you don't want to do that, don't stress right now. But it is something that people who are advanced teachers are tapping into, these kind of things where you can use paid advertising on XiaoHongShu with an Alipay account.
Thank you.
Okay, Tatiana, is your hand still raised? Have you got another
No.
question or
No,
no? Okay, perfect. All right, so with XiaoHongShu, the other thing that I love to do is stalk other teachers, but yeah, because you can see what they're doing, you can see their success, you can see kind of what posts they're doing, and then you can like get inspiration from that. Okay, you can copy them or you can just get inspired, right? So I'll often search in here for other teachers to see what they're doing, see what they're posting about, and see what parents are responding to. And a lot of responses that you get are ones when you're adding value. So if you can add value, if you can share like a fun video or a story or value-based posts, the algorithm likes it, parents like it, you build trust, they start to follow you, and then that's when you can start having those conversations and move them to a conversation in WeChat. Okay, so I really just wanted to share with you the power of XiaoHongShu. I'm really sorry, it seems like our guest speaker didn't want to come today. I must say she did seem nervous about sharing with everyone, but she has let us down a little bit, so I'm sorry about that. Does anyone have any questions relating to Chinese social media? I would say for me, I have found students on Chinese social media. Right now, I'm using things like recruiters to help me. Things like my WeChat groups that I've already established. So for you guys, this is really the groundwork that got me started. And it's also a reason why I love to have another coach on board with Chinese social media. And I would say, like, I call her the queen of Chinese social media because I do feel like she is really, really, really talented. She knows how to speak Chinese. She knows the locals, the recent stuff that's going on. So I'm just going to share with you, I've put it in our Facebook group too, is to join Katie's Facebook group to be getting her ongoing coaching. So this is what it's called. It's called WeChat and XiaoHongShu Independent Teachers. So I'm actually just going to go there and show you, and then I'm going to pop this in the chat. Especially if you're getting stuck or you have questions regarding Chinese social media, that's why I've got Katie on board as a coach. She's brilliant. She's like, she can speak Chinese. So there's a lot of things that like I'll scramble with and I'll have limited success. But because she can speak Chinese and she can read things, and she's worked for an agency inside of China and Japan doing Chinese social media. She's just so much more advanced than what I am. And that's why I've partnered with her, because she helped me with quite a few things. And I'm like, well, you're in. So I outsource a lot of the nitty-gritty coaching with Chinese social media to Katie. So this is her group. I would really encourage you to join it, especially if you've got questions about Chinese social media. She'll post things all the time. This is Goran. So with Goran, he showed the testimonial, and she said, like, I would recommend that you add your ID subtly in the corner. So it's great for her to also be providing value like that. She did a really cool one the other day. This one. So she'll say this is a trending hashtag. So we in Chinese social media, they have a lot of hashtags, which is how you can find people or trending topics, which is quite nice. So in the course, the self-paced lessons, we do go over like hashtags that you can use. So if you're an IELTS teacher, you should say like IELTS. If you're a PET or a KT teacher, you can use those hashtags. So yeah, she'll explain how to do different things, which is just a bit more advanced. So I'd really encourage you to join this group, because then you'll be able to ask those nitty-gritty questions about Chinese social media. She is coming on Wednesday and she's going to help us with setting up our files. So I think the best thing to do is to get yourself ready. We've got a lot of content which is self-paced in the course that really you just have to watch, go through it, practice it on your own in your WeChat and XiaoHongShu groups. And then she's going to come on Wednesday to give us some extra advice. And then we can ask her those nitty-gritty questions to really get her to help us with our Chinese social media. Does that make sense? So I guess like I know how to do a lot of the basics, but she's just so much more advanced because she speaks Chinese. She knows like all of the trending things that happen, which is really, really cool. So she is coming on Wednesday to share with us. She comes twice a month, by the way. Okay, so which module is the information regarding recruiters? Okay, so I'm just going to share with you. That is in the master course. Okay, so under invoicing methods is invoicing with the help of an international banking agency and at Alipay. And the one with recruiters, I've put that in. Sorry, it's up here. Finding students and marketing options. I've got using recruiters for your group classes. So it's the last one there. That's the individuals. Okay. All right. Yes, Tatiana, yeah.
The Alipay, I'm sorry, what module was that in?
That's under invoicing. So invoicing, which is module 3, invoicing methods. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And it's invoicing with the help of an international banking agent and Alipay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. All right. Any other questions? If we don't have any questions, then what I thought we could do is we could go into a WeChat swap or see if anyone here needs verification and if anyone can verify you. I know that 1 or 2 teachers are saying they're really struggling with that. So what you could do is write in the chat, do you need WeChat verification? And if so, let's see if anyone here can help you if you've been on Chinese social media for more than 6 months. So if you can write in the chat if you need WeChat verification, maybe someone here can help you. That's not a promise. I don't know if anyone can help today. But if they can, then that would be great. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, so Tatiana needs WeChat verification. All right. I know someone else in the course did too. Awesome. So Emma, thank you so much for being a sweetie. So hopefully, Emma, you've been on WeChat for more than 6 months and you haven't verified anyone in the last month, in which case she'll be able to help. So what you can do is, Tatiana, why don't you share in a private message to Emma your WhatsApp, so that you guys can maybe figure that out on WhatsApp. You can send her the QR code to Emma and then she can verify you. And you can actually do it through WhatsApp, but it's got to be fast. It's got to be within a minute or 2. So you've got to be kind of at the same time focused on doing that task. All right, Celia also needs verification. So we need another person. If anyone can help Celia, who's been here for more than 6 months, that would be great. Okay. So zoom in. Okay, Christine's asking, is it possible to see on Zoom the point at which the recording has been reached so I can note the point at which a particular subject is being discussed? Good question, Christine. The thing is, with my recording, it records automatically from whenever the first person joins, and then I usually cut that off. So don't think that's possible, Christine. I can look into it, but I don't think it's possible right now. Sorry.
No worries.
Thanks for suggesting it though. It's a good suggestion. Okay, Leona, you've never done it, but you've been willing to help. Thank you so much, Leona. So if you can help Celia Leonie, you just have to have been on WeChat for more than 6 months. So what Celia you need to do, and in fact I can see Alan who isn't sure about this either, is you go to the Play Store and you find WeChat and you can basically install it. And then it asks you for like your phone number and things like that. So you can use your phone number to verify it's your phone number. And then what you do is they give you a QR code. And that QR code, you take a screenshot of it and you send it to someone, or you hold it up to the screen, or you show it to them in person, and they have to scan it. So what you do is, if you're not sure, you go to WeChat and you go to Discover and then scan. So I'm going to write that in here. So WeChat, Discover, scan. So that is to help someone, the person who is helping. Okay. Let me just share my screen. Oh, and Goran is also here. Awesome. Nice to see you here, Goran. I know you just came back from a class. All right. So I'm just sharing quickly how to get set up in WeChat. So you can literally go to the Play Store. Play Store. Google Play Store. And you'll see in here, if you just type in WeChat. Just click for up here. Okay, so this is how you get it. So then you press install, and then once you install it, it'll ask you for different things. Now, I've already got WeChat installed on my computer, so I'm not going to go and do all of this, but it is recorded in the master course. So remember, these sessions are best for like questions and answers and discussions. Whereas in the master course, it does have these step-by-step as videos that you can watch to help you if you're getting stuck. So don't just rely on these live lessons. It is important to go back into the recordings and to work your way through, because that's going to really help you. And the nice thing is then is you can pause it, right? So you can pause it, work your way through. So let's just show you here. Oh, it's all the way down. Day 16. Day 17. Okay, so if you go to day 17, it's WeChat tips, getting verified, and your settings. And it shows you how you can do different things in your settings there. Okay. All right, I have got a question here. I just realized I don't have my new email domain, etc. Maybe I should wait to join WeChat until I do. What do you think? It's not really connected to your email. It's connected to your phone number. So in fact, I have got 2 phones with 2 SIM cards, with 2 phone numbers, with 2 WeChats, with 2 XiaoHongShu accounts. So I started that initially because I was helping a school with getting going. And now I've got it like one is like almost one that I'm showing publicly and one that I do with my business privately. So it's a SIM card number that you can have. Yes, Tatiana.
So I have, because I'm doing this, I want to do this professionally based out of Uruguay, in South America, like I've mentioned before.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I have a Uruguayan number, but
Yeah.
when I'm in the States, I obviously don't have that SIM card. Or
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
No, I was in South Africa using my South African SIM number. Okay, and as long as you still have your phone, even if the SIM card isn't connected, you can still use that. I'm not sure. Even if you get blocked and restricted, I think it still works. I think it doesn't have to be live, but you just use your number. So I've done that before from South Africa. I moved to America and it seemed to work. So that's
WhatsApp definitely does. That it's like
and WeChat.
And WeChat. Great, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. All right. These are good questions though. This is why we're here to like kind of help with these finicky little questions. All right. So I've seen 2 people needed help. Alan, did you get onto WeChat, Alan? Sure. If Alan's still here. I saw Alan asking, but I can't see him here. So I know that Alan's been around for a while. I'll message him later and check to see. Okay, so what we can do now is we can do a WeChat swap. So a WeChat swap is basically helping each other get into a few different groups of swapping. So what I discovered as a teacher, especially when I was finding most of my students in WeChat groups, is the best way is to swap with people. Just like you're on a playground, you're swapping different things, like swapping cards. It's not like paying anyone for it, it's just swapping. So if I'm in 5 groups and someone else is in 5 groups, I'll say, well, I'll invite you into 5 groups if you invite me into 5 groups. And that's how I got into like 50+ groups, being able to post in there regularly. So, you know, it's a shame. I've seen a few people saying, you know, I haven't seen anyone inviting me. If you want to get into these groups and if you want to get into more of them, you know, it is a great way to be able to share and to find more groups to get into. So what I've done is I have put in our VIP Facebook group, if you are interested in doing that, you need to write your WeChat ID. Okay, so that people can find you, so that people can add you to different groups. All right. I'm downloading WeChat now. Okay, so Connie, it says, should I use my full name or it's up to you. So my ID is different from my full name. So I think I use my full name. And then when I did an ID, I was like Teacher Jess 87. Yeah, whatever you want to do. Yeah, go around is saying I'm not sure they're very useful now, and I explained that at the beginning. Go around, yeah, I found the same. Those like as soon as like the Chinese companies closed down, I found loads of students in it, and that's how I launched my business. But now, right now, it's better to use XiaoHongShu and to have your own group. It is, yeah, and there are people spamming in there, 100%, 90%, yeah. So go around, you're totally right. And I did say that at the beginning, like how things have changed. So honestly, probably the best way is to be posting on XiaoHongShu as a funnel to put them into your own group. And the nice thing is Katie is doing some lessons with us. So on Wednesday, she's going to come in looking at your profile. And she's also got some great content on how to attract students. And that's all in the course. It is a self-paced course. It's actually Katie's entire XiaoHongShu course that is inside of mine. So it's really great to be able to use all of that advice to be able to find students on XiaoHongShu and funnel them into WeChat. No problem, go around. I know you were busy teaching, no problem. Where do you get your Zoom screen filter, please? Like as in my background here, Christine. It's also in the master course.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I might actually also be in the 4-week challenge. I'll share it with you just now. I can see Alison's also got a question. Do you think you could still find your former groups? Yeah, I think you can, Alison. It's not impossible, but a lot of students have also moved on. So you might be able to. I would say if you're a VIP kid teacher, like use the hashtags. So when you're on XiaoHongShu, use the hashtag VIP kids. Yeah, and get your face out there because an old student might contact you. I've had old students contact me being like, oh, we thought, you know, we had you ages ago at Wales English. And I contacted probably 80% of my current students at Wales English, but there were some students who I had like short term or for trial classes and things like that. And they've also contacted me. I've got about 20 students in my WeChat group. Yay! Okay, so Katerina's got 20 students in her WeChat group. How do I grow this group? So add value. So why don't you do a free class? Like we've got Valentine's Day coming up in February. Why don't you do like a free Valentine's Day class and get them to invite them into the group and say, if you want your friends to join for this class, all of the information is going to be in the WeChat group. And then what you can do is you can create a flyer with your group QR code on that flyer to post out to people so that when they scan it, they can join your group. Now that only works if you've got less than, I think it's 100 people in a group. And that's why with my story time, I ended up having 3 different groups. It kept growing and growing because as soon as it hits 100, people weren't able to join through a QR code. They had to be manually added, or they couldn't scan a QR code. The other thing is those QR codes do also expire. So after like maybe 3 weeks, the WeChat group QR code does expire. So what I did is I created a flyer, and every 3 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever it was, I would just update that QR code so that people could still join that group. Tatiana. Okay, great. So yeah, this is a great place to network, guys. You're saying you want to communicate outside of the class, definitely. And that's why we've got the VIP Facebook group too. Like communicate, network, chat, share. It's wonderful. Okay, it's an hour and 50 minutes. I'm going to call it a day. I've answered as many questions as I can. I hope that I haven't missed any questions. I'm so sorry if I have. Guys, remember, I'm also available in the VIP Facebook group. So if you want to ask a question in there, then you can do that. And then, yeah, I'm going to see you on Wednesday as well with Katie this week. And then I'm going to see you again on Friday too. Okay. All right, Tatiana's got her hand up. One last one, Tatiana. Yeah? No, you're saying goodbye. Okay, lovely. All right, have a lovely day, everyone. Okay, we'll see you all again on Wednesday. All right, cheers, everyone. Bye. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye.